Well, good afternoon, Faith family, friends. This is Pastor Greg from Faith Lutheran Church, Harvey, North Dakota, coming to you with my midweek check-in, midweek devotion, all those other things. I'm coming to you on Thursday for a couple of different reasons. The first is that on yesterday, we laid to rest Lyle Summer, who passed away on the last day of October. And so we had to do that, and that just took up most of my day. And plus, then leadership met last night, and I always like to try and wait to find out what leadership has to say, or if there is anything that they would like me to pass along. So that's why I'm coming to you today. You know, it's a beautiful, warm day today. We're supposed to get like up to around 70, so that's like great. So get out and enjoy some of that if you hear this before the message and before it gets cold, which is this weekend. There's even a little talk of some snow this weekend, but I think that they're thinking that's going to stay west, but you just never know. So keep your eyes open for that. So weather-wise, we're doing all right. We could use some rain, of course, and some moisture, so we're glad to see whatever comes this way. You know, it's hard to believe. I looked at the calendar, November 5th today, and I just keep thinking how the time is flying. I mean, we're talking about what we're doing, what our plans are for you know, even at Christmas Eve now, trying to figure out how we're going to handle that, how we're going to focus on that, and so we just take one day at a time. You know, the Lord wants us to take one day at a time. So remember that and do that. Take one day. Worry about today. Plenty to worry about yesterday. Plenty to worry. You know, those things can worry about themselves. It's not going to change anything of what's happening to you right now as you're listening to me. So I think one of the things I should discuss real quickly is our Wednesday evening Bible school. We've set some policy on that so that people can at least have an idea of where we are and the decisions that we make when we choose to or choose not to meet in any given week. So we came up with this kind of basic idea. Was, if you're familiar with the color ranges, and I was going to show you the risk ranges here, but it just doesn't work very well. We have those different color-coded areas, and the lowest is blue, and then the next is green, and then it's yellow, and then it's red, and then it's that orange or whatever, or maybe it's orange and red. So anyway, levels 1 through 5. I'm going to use it that way just so there's no confusion. For Wednesday evening school to meet, we have to be in the blue or green area, the first two steps. If we're in the third step, that orange step, then we'll take it week by week, and you'll hear from us. So check with one of the teachers or check with the office, check with me. I'd be happy to let you know what was decided. Now, that decision may not happen till Wednesday, but we're watching the numbers closely, and we actually look closer at the numbers than we do at the color, because if we follow the numbers, we probably should be one level higher. In any case, if we do get to that fourth level or above, we're not going to meet. So you can just know that. And always, if you're supposed to be quarantined, or if you're not feeling well, or any of those things, stay at home. We are continuing worship online. We continue to live stream, as some of you know, as well. So use whatever version you want. We have set some limits in our sanctuary where you can sit, kind of spread out a little bit more, and that's okay. We're not going to turn anybody away from worship, that's for sure. So we just want us to keep in mind, if you feel comfortable wearing a mask, then wear a mask. If not, you know, whatever your decision is, we just ask again that you keep everyone in mind in your decision making. Leadership last night, and I think the big thing that's coming out of there is, you know, we canceled our annual meeting that was supposed to be last month, and so it's been rescheduled. Just so you know, so this is partly an official announcement. We'll make the official announcements in worship as well, but that will be November 22nd, and that will follow worship. There will be no meal or anything, and you're welcome to just come for that if you want. You can come for worship, stay. Whatever you feel comfortable doing. We just feel that leadership felt that we need to get this done. we'll have a quorum more than likely, no matter what. So we're fine with that. And really, there's nothing pressing on there other than approving the budget and that type of thing. So plan on spending some afternoon time with us, or well, after lunch, late morning time with us as we do that. It shouldn't take too long. So that's really it. I mean, those are the things that I really wanted to touch on. There's so much more in conversations with other pastors, with other businesses, with other everything. So we're really kind of taking all of this in, and it's real difficult to discern the numbers because they're presented in so many different ways, and so it's rather confusing. So just bear with us. When this all started, numbers were low and so forth. We're testing a lot of young people now, and so we have a lot more positives than we did before. And so there's lots of things to think about. And I'm not making a statement one way or another. I'm just putting some information out there in front of you. Of course, we finished our election yesterday. And as of this time, and I haven't checked for a couple hours, we still have not yet to hear any type of winner, and it sounds like it's probably going to be contested out a ways before. This is not the first time this has happened, so don't fret about it. And certainly the Lord is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So we're cool with that. That's kind of where I am. If your person wins, great. If your person loses, great. Just go with the flow. Anyway, that's what I have to say about stuff going on around here. And I'm because of the funeral and because of other meetings I've had this week, I'm running a little behind on my sermon preparation. So I just have some basic ideas that I'm kind of tossing around, and I'm not really 100% sure where I'm going to go with it. But I would like to start with just talking a little bit about 1 Thessalonians for this week. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, 13 through 18. You want to stop, take a look at that. Go ahead, just stop, and then come back on. So, well, the people of the Thessalonian church were worried. Really, that's what this is about. They're worried, kind of like we worry. But they were worried about something very specific in this particular case that Paul is addressing in this letter to his church. They're worried that those who've died will miss out on the coming of the Lord, and so they're concerned. They're losing hope and faith because they were told that the Lord was coming, and so they've been waiting for that. It's 2,000 years later. We're still waiting. I mean, it's 2,000 years later. Any case, here they are. They're worried. They're losing hope, and they're losing a little bit of faith in this process. And Paul writes to them, and he said, that verse 13. But we do not want you to be uninformed. We want you to know what's going on here about those who are asleep, and they use that term asleep frequently as one who's passed on, who's died, that you may not grieve as others do who have no hope. So don't grieve for that. Verse 14 says, for since we believe that Jesus died and rose again, even so through Jesus, God will bring with him those who have fallen asleep. And then, so here Paul is helping us along that way. He's bringing us to this idea that we should have hope, that even those who've fallen asleep will still be brought to the Lord. And so it's gonna, for them, even those that they're waiting, and now us as we're waiting, if the Lord were to come this afternoon, in the next 10 minutes, next hour, whatever, we would discover that all of his people, both those who've gone before us and ourselves will be taken with him. And so that's where our hope is. That's where our faith should be. And in these times where we're so tossed around with numbers and changes in rules and regulations and angry people, passive people, we just have to live today. We just have to have that hope and that faith that one day we will be taken to the Lord, where we will see him face to face. I talked about that last week, this idea of watching and coming to the Lord, where we get to see him face to face. And that's really what we want to do. We want to be there with him and know that those who've gone before us will be there. Don't worry about that. Have faith. Have hope that the word is true, that the promises are true. And then live today, knowing that God is still here with us, that God walks with us every day, and that even in this crazy time that we live in right now, God is really, truly here. 1 Thessalonians is where I'm at. The parable of the 10 virgins is the Matthew text. And I'm in there a little bit too, but I didn't want to drag this out much longer. I'm already over I should just change my time limit to 12 minutes. Then I would be always in time. Then I would go to 14 probably. You know how it is. Excuse me. That's what I have to say about that. We need to pray this week. I think we really need to pray for our caregivers. They're running out of steam. They're working long shifts. They have people out who are sick. There are people out who don't want to come to work. They have people out who are quarantined. And so everybody else has to pick up the slack. We have enough beds, we don't have enough people. And that's really where we are in this society right now. And that's not an unexpected thing, but it is what it is. And so pray for them. Pray for the administrators of those facilities. Pray for the frontline workers. Pray for the people in the facilities, that they can find a bed for them. Pray for those who are trying to get elective surgeries done. That's where your focus should be today. Well, and you can pray a little bit more for our presidential election. It's over, really. It's just a matter of counting. But still, pray for peace, pray for understanding, and pray for the next leader of this great country that we live in, a place where we're still able to walk around and go wherever we want. Anyway, enough about that. Well, I hope you have a great week. Until we come together again, I say blessings to you and take care.